feed ready to go for that one. All right, here we go, intro. So right now the people on YouTube can't hear me talking, even though you can out there on TikTok. That's because I've got a split audio feed using the software called Voicemeeter. Allows me to split the signals coming from Zoom into vMix, out to Voicemeeter, and out to stage 10. Yeah, I had some pretty good results last night. Kyrie just broadcasting with Ray. Went pretty well. We were talking about that Anthropic deal, and I've got it kind of broken down. I'll send you. It's called a super agent framework, and it's really more like what I built for New Oaks that day. So I'll kind of go through that I built to cover what they've built over there. Just pull up GenSpark if you got any access to another monitor or phone or something. But I'll break it up. All right, here we go, boys. That was a little quicker than I expected. Welcome to the broadcast, everyone. This is your host, Leland Best of Best Live TV, BestAiTV, and my good buddy Kyrie Taylor is in the house, but only on his phone, audio only. So welcome to the broadcast, Kyrie. How's it going?
It's going, man. Everything's good. Running them up, knocking them down, man. You know.
I feel like I got an echo going on. Let me make sure I'm not. Oh, I think I know what it is. I was probably talking that whole time out on the stream because I had my game set up from last night. So all that stuff out there on the live, they heard. No big deal. So Kyrie, you're here in my state today, right?
Indeed, I am, man. Indeed, I am.
You're hanging out with me. I love it, man. How often have you been to Michigan before?
This is my first time. That's the main reason why I came, man.
All right, I got it. I definitely have an echo here. Hold on a second. All right, say one more thing.
One more thing for me.
Thank you very much. That was perfect. I love it. All right, I was talking to Kyrie the other day, and he said he was coming to Michigan, and I'm like, man, you're going to be pretty close to me. You're going to be in Ann Arbor. So he's like an hour and a half south of me right now at the U of M campus because his wife has an event going on. Tell us a little bit about what that's about, Kyrie, if you're able to. What you doing?
Yeah, I mean, it's my wife, one of the many hats she wears is she's an event coordinator. This is one of her events. I don't know the actual name or what I'm allowed to share.
No, I get it. Sure.
It's like an event that they have, constituents coming to, and they do like sessions and things like that. And she coordinates the entirety of how that rolls out and making sure everybody's happy and all that kind of stuff. And yeah, it's pretty cool. We did a thing where they went to they're at the university, so they had the whole stadium tour, and we got to go down on the field, and we did like a 100-yard dash, which I won.
Really? Nice. Good job.
I'm just gonna put that out there. I did win. There was another guy there that was he had me at the 50, but since we went the long distance, I caught him at the end. So yeah,
that's all right.
But yeah, good time, man. It was just those usual convention type things are usually pretty cool. So yeah, she's amazing. I don't see how she does it. She looks at me like that when she looks at like code. She comes in my command center and she looks at the code on all my screens and stuff like that. She don't understand how you track this stuff. I don't understand how she deals with logistics around these events. So yeah. It's
funny because I kind of have to deal with both of those sometimes. A lot of the stuff that I do, I still feel like I'm getting. Wait a minute. I think it's coming back through my other monitor. Oh, there it is. Okay. That's what it is. I want them to be able to hear me, but not. I don't know if I can pull that off. Because I'm only using my phone for TikTok, but that's no big deal. Next time I do this, I'm going to have TikTok on a separate feed on my computer here, which I was hoping to do today, but I didn't get it up. So, all right, let's get into the meat of things anyway. Big announcements. Ray and I covered the other day over at Easy Site, New Oaks, and honestly, Anthropic kind of threw a big ball out there for everybody to play with this time. And this is about their super agent framework. So pretty cool stuff. This is actually a major milestone is what they're calling it anyway. And this kind of comes about with some conversations that they had with GenSpark, which I'm not too familiar with that company as a whole. I haven't really looked into them, but they're an engineering team that's been working alongside of Anthropic for quite a while now. This it's kind of what I did. It's reminiscent of the bot that I built back on New Oaks a while ago. Do you remember that, Kyrie? Where I built Atlas. And what that allowed me to do. I gotta figure out what this is, Kyrie. I'm sorry. I just got something coming back at me. I don't want them to hear two of me there. And yet it seems like they are. Well, guys, you're only going to get one side of the story this time. I hate to say. That's just the way it's going to be. Okay, no big deal. All right, back to it. So what they said was Jen Sparks, CEO of the engineering team, came out. Their CTO is a K-Zoo. Kind of a weird name. When I say that, it's weird, Kyrie, because I used to live in Kalamazoo, and they always called it K-Zoo. That was the name of the place. This is K-Zoo, Z-H-U. That's her name. And the legacy designs were restricting their systems. They're like workflows that are overly structured. Are just not cutting it. They're limiting creativity and depth, and they're allowing multiple specialized agents now to tackle different aspects of a problem instead. So you know agents AI. Do you recall why I built Atlas? Because I want to kind of show what I was doing at the time. This
yeah, no, it doesn't. I don't remember exactly.
Okay, I'm gonna show you. This is Atlas. Atlas was built on AI OTAP, which is Ray Luan's New Oaks. So I purchased a white label from him, and I've been working on that white label. What I came up with, I'm just going to show you the prompt, or at least part of the prompt, so that people can get an idea of what I was actually trying to build here. Let me get to the right place. And the prompt I built for this particular AI was to develop a superior agent that did the work of 12, actually 13. And the idea was to have Atlas. He was the commanding advanced intelligence operations officer, or AI, advanced intelligence officer. So he's the guy that coordinates all the mission statements to whatever other bot is under his command. And in this case, I came up with 12 specialists. So I created a specialist matrix known as Alpha Bravo Charlie Delta Echo Forge, the typical military commander you might see out there. And I tried to keep them in sync with what they were. Charlie's my support team. Bravo's my strategy, market analysis, and growth company. Delta is my coordinator, timelines, resources. Echo is communication. Forge is creating content. Apex is all about e-commerce. Archer is about analytics. Ranger is about SEO and optimization. So the idea was having separate agents doing separate tasks, so that the overall authorizing agent was the one that did all the coordination and logistics. Okay. I was doing this before they announced this. So I'm a little like, damn it, why didn't I trademark this idea or do something with this idea way back when? Not that it wasn't headed that way, but what they're starting to find is that by breaking tasks down into separate agents and having a lead agent that runs the show is really much more it's less structured, more intelligence. What they're using the terminology for this. So don't build a huge framework for one bot trying to figure everything out. Build separate individual bots and connect them whether through MCP or whichever other aspects that you might have in place that you can have them working off each other. So can't wait.
Yeah. I mean, it's essentially what we're talking about is, agent orchestration, right? Where we get a specialized AI agents coordinate through a central master type system, right? Similar to how human teams divide expertise. Yeah. So when you think about it in that regard, it's kind of like the same thing as it's like a natural progression of how AI, a lot of people think of it, like you said, as an all-in-one, like, oh, it can do this, it can do this, it can do this. Whereas people who have been in this space, like you and I know, you get much better throughput, much better bandwidth, much better results when you silo some of the information in the task that you want to do. So essentially, it seems like they're doing that, and then they're just having a governor, right? That says, hey, make it a PM of sorts, an AI PM, right? To make sure that everybody's doing what they're supposed to be doing. Yeah, so it's pretty cool. I'm wondering if there could be any kind of communication bottlenecks between the agents at some point. Some simple stuff, I doubt it, but for more complex methodologies and logic, I feel like that could be an issue, right?
Yeah, and it could very well be not only that, but the cost. Okay, because now you're almost 4x the total cost of what you're doing, because each iteration is pulling one agent into play. It could be pulling several agents into play. So you could even go as high as a 10x factor if you've got too many agents working together on similar tasks at the same time. You could see your tokens just going out the window. It's like you gotta be really careful what you're building. And even Ray made mention of this with regards to Easy Site. Because now he's token based. Basically, they've discovered there's. I'd have to go back to the podcast to even catch everything Ray said last night. But found a method that was a major update that reduced token consumption on Easy Site by almost 50%. And it was because of the way it iterates, depending on how you code it to be able to use the prompts. I should say code it in order to use the prompts that are being sent to it to generate apps and generate websites and things like that, because this is a website app generator. They found it was part of the routine that it was doing was causing it to actually iterate more than it probably should have. And it wasn't an error in coding. It was just there were other methods they could have used. So they came up with a much more structured output that now gives them less token take on the build process. So what used to take 400 tokens might only take 50. So it depends on how you're building. At least 50%. So also wanted to mention that he's adding some tools over there, Kyrie. And the thing that I'm seeing Ray doing, he's just recently incorporated the two tools together. Okay. So we're taking Easy Site, which is attached now to an agent AI, which is New Oak. Okay. So you have the chatbot, which is really an agent. It's more than a chatbot. He's got a lot of stuff over there. Yeah. Now it's inside the builder. I'm kind of giving you an idea what that means. I know I've kind of taken a lot of space from here, but I want to get you on the show. What I found just building this. Going to go to my Easy Site account for just a second. So here's Easy Site. You guys have seen this on our show before. What I'm going to do is head over to one of the builds that I did, and that was mental strength. You guys have seen this as well. I finally got this working the way I wanted to. And it was caching and doing all kinds of weird stuff. So I'll leave a link to the app when we finish the show here today. But some of the things that he's done over here with regards to the chatbot. So now the configuration allows you to turn on any chatbot, which you either take the integrated knowledge base chatbot that's built into Easy Site, or you do a premium AI plugin to New Oaks. And what that allows you to literally just sign into your New Oaks account. Add, and the app's already there. The AI part of the chatbot will already be in place, and then you can come over here and prompt it however you like for that particular work case. So in this case, I've created the daily affirmation page for mental strength, and then I've created a chatbot that is a daily affirmation and motivational mental health coach for men. And so now I have a twofold process built into one application, which is really what when you think about it, that's what Agent AI and this super agent framework is all about. Is getting agents to work with other software, other aspects of your assets and things of that nature. So, do you see yourself building these kind of agents for yourself? Have you ever thought of what would be the substructure behind a really cool
I think about it. I mean, it's weird, right? Like, and every day is a new advancement. So it's like when I think about the super agent framework, what I get from it is it kind of balances power versus efficiency, right? So it's like a specialized agents increase the capability but multiply token costs, like you were saying. And it's kind of like a situation where you have to kind of highlight in that regard the economic trade-off that a lot of times I think when you're building these systems gets overlooked. So I'm wondering, when I think about that, I think about something that would be more of an intelligent distribution versus overhead costs, right? So in all of that, making decisions on whether or not I'd build them, I would be thinking about exploring more of a hybrid approach, right?
Yeah.
Where the agents are dynamically maybe spun up only when needed, rather than having them all available all at the same time. Because then that'll help reduce the overhead from the token costs of them saying, "Hey, am I actually needed?" You know what I mean? But yeah, so jury's still out.
And the thing,
You know?
well, one thing Ray's done too, which really helps accommodate that token usage here, and I was really impressed that he was able to pull this off, is that if you are in chat mode, okay, there's a dev mode and a chat mode. So what that means is anything you do in chat is just an iteration in time and space. It's not actually being, published to the app itself. So you can kind of run through your iteration a little ahead of time and then apply it, which is really cool to be able to be creative and actually play around a little bit with the concept of what would it look like if I did this first, or what would it look like if I did that first. And that does give a design aspect to vibe coding, which we didn't really consider other than language. Now we kind of get a visual representation. And the other thing he's done as well is in the restore section, he's now added full timestamp data as far as what date and time it's been. And you can also rename your restore points so that you can have versions of your app or your website in place and actually stored within the construct of the app so that it's there for later use. And then you can just restore it. So you can now name those whatever you want. You could add a V1, let's say, or a V2 on the end, and that way you know which ones you're iterating in. I thought that was really cool. Something that this thing really needed. And if you haven't seen, it does generate an Android app, which is something that I just did for the first time the other day. What's really different about this is Ray allows you to just upload a name and an icon for your app, and when you generate it, it's generating the APK file for you, but it's also hosting it. So I didn't expect that. I didn't think he was going to be hosting the app as well. I thought you'd have to take the APK and go load it up into the Play Store, and you could if you wanted to have it on the Play Store. But you can also, like anyone else, upload third-party apps to your phone. You just have to tell your phone that you're doing so and allowing third-party apps to work on your phone. That's all. All right. So
yeah, but I mean, as a feature set goes, when you approach solutions now, it's very much just like we were talking previously about the need and requirement at this point for different integrations. Beyond just regular webhooks, because as devs, we, if you got webhooks, you've got an integration, but not everybody is dealing with that. And when you approach the ideology around vibe coding, it's the accessibility piece that's the value proposition. It drives the value proposition there. So you want a one and done, as close to a one and done situation as you can, with options to expand upon that. So being able to host it there, it makes the barrier of entry much simpler, right? Now, those security implications of the different mobile OSs allowing this and having to give specific permissions to allow third-party apps and things like that, notwithstanding, it just gives a level of accessibility that hasn't been there until recently. Right?
Big time. I have not seen an app yet, besides ones that you build on Bolt or Lovable or whatever, that can go directly to a mobile app like that. And maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I just haven't caught that in the interim, but I think he's made some motivational leaps, because sometimes I've said some things to Ray with regard to what if we could, what if, and when I say it, he goes and tries to build it just because he heard me say it. And that, I think, is part of this is another thing, when we emphasize breaking free, I think it all comes down to, this is what GenSpark CTO also mentioned, was that breaking free from fixed workflows enabled the creation of context-rich, self-directed agents. Okay, and something we covered last night was, when it comes to vibe coding especially, we want to framework what it is we want to see, what it is we want to build. And that's all we should do. Don't tell the AI how to build it. Just tell them what you want to build and what you want as a resulting deliverable. Like, this is what I want to be able to do with it. Because if you take away the creativity of the AI, which is much smarter than you, and just let it design, let it code, let it do it its way, rather than say, do this subroutine that way, function this, make that variable this, do this over here, make sure this flow goes to that. Just let it figure it out. Don't you think it's smarter? Do you think What do you think, Kyrie?
Yeah, yeah. I mean, if we pull back to just the general question around this whole specialized agent framework,
Mm-hmm.
right? The whole point of it is to pull you out of the equation
Yes.
as early in the process as possible,
Hallelujah.
and
That's
just
what I
have
was waiting
you
for you to
as
say.
right. It's very much like I think a lot of people will have the example of um, the need for a human touch point when it comes to meeting summary emails going out to participants,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
So if you have an AI, if you're using Zoom, if you're using, Google Meet, they all have note takers that are, that you can add to or are built into that system.
Mm-hmm.
And you have the ability to send out summaries. Most people want a touch point, a human touch point. So you have to look at that in the same regard when you're dealing with these vibe coding type
Mm-hmm.
situations.
Mm-hmm.
Like you just want to touch at the end once it does what it's supposed to do,
Mm-hmm.
because if you know how to do it as efficiently as it was going to do, you would already be doing it, right?
Probably.
And just make sure that what the output is what you want it to be. And if not, then you kind of like give it some prompting, like, hey, I want to make this happen and these things happen. So yeah, I think it's just a paradigm shift, as is everything with AI when a net new kind of like ideology around an architecture comes out. And we are the ones that are slow to adapt versus AI, right?
Yeah.
We're stuck in our ways as it relates to how we do a certain thing. And it's not, a lot of people get stuck on training the AI to do what they want it to do, but you also have to allow some malleability there for yourself to be agnostic across what your usual processes were.
Yes. Yeah, I think the key
So-
here is to let the AI do what it does best. And that's
Yep.
think, do the research, figure out the problem. That's what it's there for. It's why we created these things. Let them do their job. Stop trying to control every ounce of framework that gets built from. Sure, framework's necessary, but it's intelligent enough to understand what your framework ideology is all about. You just have to express in written form or even verbal form now. Probably easier, I would think, if you were to sit down and record your thoughts and then use that transcription of your conversation. Because sometimes when we're sitting on a keyboard, we're like, make this, do that, add this, insert this, whatever. We're just being very basic in our text because we don't want to spell it all out as to what our vision is. But I think an AI, given a transcript of our conversational thought, the idea up here rather than what's coming out of our fingertips, would probably even generate stuff we wouldn't expect. I would like to try it.
This is legit what I do when I'm out and about and I have an idea. It's probably the 99.9% of the time, this is the reason I use the voice chat with ChatGPT. And I have instructions set in there that says, hey, when I say this phrase, I want you to take everything I say in this brainstorming session and summarize it as an output. I'm not looking for any other response but that.
Nice.
That way, I have a tangible asset that I can go back to in a historical chat that lets me compound on that idea, versus having an actual conversational back and forth with, hey, how's this idea? And then having to call it to not be a hype man for me. Like, oh, that's the best idea ever, Kyrie. Like, no, dude, I just want you to take the idea, summarize my, just throwing up of words and ideas, and give me a concise summary at the end of that I can then compound upon and maybe drive that strategy even further.
So,
but yeah, that's essentially what I use it for.
so that's a keyword you throw into your conversation at the very end or during, beginning. Where do you actually
No,
put that together?
I do it preemptively. It's like right. It's like I said, I call my Chat GPT when I talk to the voice. I call it T Money, and I say, hey, T Money, this is a brainstorming summary
Oh,
session.
okay, gotcha. Yeah, that makes
And
sense.
then by that, it can look at its training data
Pulls up the
and say,
framework.
okay, so at the end of this brainstorming session, I'm going to send a summary of concise ideas that are finalized, close to final as possible. Because, when you first start talking about something with anyone, let alone an AI, you may have one idea and that will evolve as you go through the conversation.
Oh, absolutely. Yes.
So you want the end goal, but you might want the trajectory of how you got to that end goal so that you can kind of compartmentalize some of that. So yeah, I prompted as such, you know what I mean?
Cool. I would love to see those prompts one day, Kyrie, and we'll be talking about that maybe next time. How about we cover that next week? Does that sound okay?
Yeah.
Talk about frameworking your AI agent so that he works better for you. We're going to have to come up with a title for that. And just so you know, Kyrie and I are getting super serious over here at Best AI Podcast. We're going to be working up some big frameworks for what we have planned, which includes guests. It includes the audio feeds out to Acast, which we will be making available soon, and possibly for some of the older broadcasts as well, if I can update. But I think, honestly, just moving forward from where we're at now, going back to back AI is senseless. There's nothing to go back to. We always have to move forward. So if we have old content, it's not going to live very long. And I just want to wrap this up for Kyrie because he's got another hard close today. One of the other things I wanted to mention, Kyrie, you need to go check this out. This is Ninja AI. So this is the product of the day. Very similar to what I'm using over at Merlin AI. And the reason I'm bringing this up is because it is a new platform. It looks very similar to Merlin, to be honest, but it has API management. It also has file structure, has a chat history, and has the deep research. Now, this is a little different plan than what I've seen before. This one allows for a free plan as well, but there's a $5 a month plan, which includes unlimited tasks. So for those people who aren't big on AI yet, and you don't want to go spend $20 a month on apps that you don't even know how to use, I would say go take a look at Ninja AI, because they have a pro plan for $10 a month, which gives you access to these 6 AI models unlimited. And the other is their higher ultra, which is literally $15 a month. And I'm not promoting this because I own it. I'm not even, just passed my feed today. Everything in pro with unlimited access to 20 premium AI models. So, and that includes OpenAI, Stable Diffusion, DeepSeek, Anthropic, Google Gemini, Amazon Nova Pro. That's huge. That's big money. Again, and that's just the annual rate or the monthly rate. Go to the annual rate, you save another 20%. Businesses probably going to cost a little more, but they're going to get more stuff. And this one starts at literally $16 a month. So if you're wanting to jump on the AI train but haven't been able to find an app you can afford, I'm just throwing this out here carefree because I don't use it. I use Merlin, but this is one that looks very similar to and may even be an advancement to what I'm using already, so, and for a lesser price. But I saw Ninja AI and I'm thinking the AI sensei needs to be promoting and pushing Ninja AI out to the crowd.
Check it out. It looks very interesting, man. This kind of cost-effective multimodal access is the main driver for a lot. For anybody out there who doesn't use more than ChatGPT, because I think we can agree that's probably for most people the one that's most common, right? Oh yeah, for sure. This is the same thing. If you do or don't, you probably should, as to why you change the model ChatGPT uses, right? We have been in a space now where you need to have multiple LLM access for different tasks and things that you want to do. They all have their benefits. They all have a general across the board accessibility and how they can do certain things across the board, right? But you know, when it comes to siloing different content and development structures, like you need to be able to go between one and the other, and this looks like it might be a viable solution, yet another viable solution I should say, for that type of workflow. So yeah, I'm gonna check it out.
I just realized all that stuff I pushed out with me talking the last few minutes didn't go out because I muted myself while you were talking. That's all right. I have the audio. No, I don't. Yeah, I do. No, I don't. Oh, fucking God. Oops. I said that out loud, didn't I? So I lost my voice through some of that broadcast while we were talking, and I have no other source to bring that audio back. That's just too bad. It might be I'll get out there on TikTok on that recording that I made over here on my phone. So we'll fix it. I gotta let Kyrie go. He's got a hard out. He's got a meeting to deal with some customers and clients. Kyrie, thanks for coming in from Ann Arbor, Michigan today on your phone. I appreciate you even taking the time out to do that today.
For sure, bro. Anytime.
All right, let's work hard on getting the next AI podcast to be our best podcast, and we'll be doing that every Wednesday at 12 noon Eastern out here at YouTube, and we show up on Facebook and all other kinds of places when we feel like it. If you really want to get a hold of us, head over to BestAiTV where you can find out all the information about it. Take care. Take a great one, Kyrie. We'll see you next time, bro.
Yeah, later, guys.
All right, we're out of here. God, I hate it when I do that. One freaking slider, dude. I closed so your voice wouldn't overlap on my mic, and then I ended up not opening it back up again. So go to your meeting. We'll talk next time. Get a hold of me. All right, later. Bye. Alright, so you just saw that, folks. They don't always go as planned. Sometimes they mess up. That time I managed to close down a microphone during the broadcast, which I was trying to get you guys audio of Kyrie on a speaker, which sits right there. So what ended up happening was the audio was typing out just fine to you guys to some extent because I was talking to you, but the little slider down here on my board didn't get out to YouTube. So we're going to have to take the audio I did on TikTok, add it into the video on YouTube, resend that, basically we're going to recompile that whole video, put it back up on YouTube as our podcast. So that's it for now, folks. If you want to stop by again, Tuesday nights at 9, Wednesdays at noon. Those are the two podcasts that I work on as a producer and tech director. I will broadcast those from behind the scenes from now on, and hopefully we'll come up with a better method here on TikTok. I can broadcast it to TikTok, but I would rather let you guys see it from here. So I'm out of here, and we will see you next time. I'll be out pushing videos on TikTok too, so we'll see you then. Take care. Oops, I hit the wrong button. I got my first gift. I got 10 diamonds today. I got 10 diamonds on my TikTok today. People gave me a gift.
While you're doing your podcast.
Trisha all worried about? I'm guessing that was it. It ain't even gonna hit us, it doesn't look like. It ain't even gonna hit us. Going right over us. Or under us, I should say.
above 18 can pick gifts from the gift panel to show TikTok and hosts how much they love such live content. Through the live gifts feature, hosts can collect diamonds and cash them out. But I'm trying really hard to perform for my guests. Why am I not getting many gifts? Actually, many viewers may have no idea they can show their appreciation in this way. They might not even know diamonds can help monetize your content. Don't be shy to tell them what gifts mean to you, so that how gifts can motivate you to create further great content for them. Try these. Wishlist is a useful tool to show your favorite gifts. Click the wishlist icon near the live banner and activate it. And this sticker is another way. Set effect or sticker from here. As you see gifts pop up, make sure to let your gifters know how much you appreciate them. We all like appreciation, right? Oh my gosh! Notice gifts in your life? What?
So some of you go like,
Oh, wait, no,
Come on.
wait, let's go! Let's go! Viewers who are above 18 can pick gifts from the gift panel to show TikTok and hosts how much they love such live content. Through the live gifts feature, hosts can collect diamonds and cash them out. But I'm trying really hard to perform for my guests. Why am I not getting many gifts? Actually, many viewers may have no idea they can show their appreciation in this way. They might not even know diamonds can help monetize your content. Don't be shy to tell them what gifts mean to you, so that how gifts can motivate you to create further great content for them. Try these. Wishlist is a useful tool to show your favorite gifts. Click the wishlist icon near the live banner and activate it. And this sticker is another way. Set effect or sticker from here. As you see gifts pop up, make sure to let your gifters know how much you appreciate them. We all like appreciation, right? Oh my gosh! Vanessa! Thank you for the TikTok universe! Best practice is to know their names and the specific gifts. And you can have your own. What gifts enrich your life? Be real, build strong connections with your gifters. Then they may be more likely to support your content in the long term. Notice amazing gifts in your life? What?
so some of
Hmm? Yeah, it's funny because I kind of have to deal with both of those sometimes. A lot of the stuff that I do, I still feel like I'm getting. I think it's coming back through my other monitor. Oh, there it is. Okay, that's it. I want them to be able to hear me, but not. I don't know if I can pull that off. Because I'm only using my phone for TikTok. That's a big deal. Next time I do this, I'm gonna have TikTok on a separate feed on my computer, which I was hoping to do today, but I didn't get that. So. All right, let's get into the meat of things anyway. Big announcements. Ray and I covered the other day over at Easy Site, New Oaks, and honestly, Anthropic kind of threw a big ball out there for everybody to play with this time. This is about their super agent framework, so pretty cool stuff. This is actually a major milestone, is what they're calling it anyway, and it kind of comes about some conversation.
Calling out all small TikTok